There's one. Killing. Another depiction. 1440 AD. France, the same. Canada, I mean, there is not just one or two. They are all over the world, and this is only touching the surface. Look at this one. Look at that. It's astounding. I get excited when I look at this because, you know, you can see clearly 1600 AD. Okay. Now this, not starting to get dug up until the middle of the 19th century. I keep repeating that just to get it in there. A Nothosaurus reconstruction. I'm sorry, but if people can't see the similarities there, then there's a problem. It's called willful denial. Okay, let's see what we've got here. St. Michael and the Dragon. Where's this? Italy. We've got them in Italy. Oh, look at this. I mean, this is amazing. 14th century. You see here. And the reconstruction. Ornitholestos reconstruction. Yep. And there's more. There's Mali. Mali again. Ethiopia. Depictions. China. Depictions. And there's lots more in this book. I might do a more in-depth review on this book. So, if you're interested in buying this book, you can get this online. I'm sure if you put it in, stick it into Google, Untold or Amazon, Untold Secrets of Planet Earth, Dire Dragons by Vance Nelson. So now we have looked at depictions and historical records around the world concerning man living with dinosaurs and dinosaurs living with man, which oppose the evolutionary worldview, which states dinosaurs and man did not live alongside one another, and dinosaurs lived out in between 60 and 70 million years ago. Now, do we have within the Bible any what we could easily interpret as a historical record or records of or descriptions whereby we could say, well, yeah, we could say, yeah, that seems to be describing what we would today call a dinosaur, or a large terrible lizard, or as they are described throughout the Bible, because the word large terrible lizards, which is the dinosaurs, the Latin describing large terrible lizards, was not penned or used until the middle of the 19th century. So before the middle of the 19th century, the Bible was written between with Moses. At the start, he would have written down the accounts from those who lived before him. So we could say round about between 1600 BC to approximately 400 BC, the Old Testament, and the New Testament between, let's just say, AD 35 maybe up to AD 96. Okay, you could argue a little bit here and there for all of those dates, but I'm not here to give a textual dating criticism or at the moment. So we'll just go with the fact that if we didn't start using the word dinosaur until the middle of the 19th century, just because the word dinosaur is not in the Bible does not mean that dinosaurs are not described in the Bible. They would have used different words for them. So here we have in the book of Job, chapter 40, God speaking to Job about the greatness of God's works, and Job needing to look at God and realize that God is majestically higher in all things than man's thoughts and man's ways. God is describing to Job a creature that Job would have understood, because he would have experienced, he would have lived alongside this creature. And this creature is described as Behemoth. And we read Job chapter 40, verses 15 to 24. Behold, Behemoth, which I made as I made you. He eats grass like an ox. Behold, his strength is in his loins, and his power in the muscles of his belly. He makes his tail swift like a cedar. The sinews of his thighs are knit together. His bones are tubes of bronze. His limbs are like bars of iron. He is the first of the works of God. Let him who made him bring near his word. Sword. For the mountains yield food for him where all the wild beasts play. Under the lotus plants he lies, in the shelter of the reeds and in the marsh. For his shade the lotus trees cover him, the willows of the brook surround him. Behold, if the river is turbulent, he is not frightened. He is confident, though Jordan rushes against his mouth. Can one take him by his eyes or peer his nose with a snare? Okay, let's look at Behemoth. Some have said, oh, it could be an elephant. I'm sorry, have you seen the size of an elephant's tail? Clearly, this is describing this creature as having the tail of a cedar. He makes his tail stiff like a cedar. Verse 17. Okay, his bones are like bronze. No, the sword can't be used against him. You know, some have said a hippopotamus. You know, same again, tail is tiny. Compare a hippopotamus tail with this, and this is being described as a huge creature and the power of it. You know, the Jordan has no hold upon it. Whatever it is, for me, this easily can be interpreted and is being descriptive of a huge, what we would describe today, dinosaur, large terrible lizard, described back then as dragon. You know, is it sauropod or that kind of huge creature? And here we have another one, Job chapter 41. Can you draw out Leviathan with a fish hook, or press down his tongue with a cord? Can you put a rope in his nose, or pierce his jaw with a hook? Will he make many pleas to you? Will he speak to you soft words? Will he make a covenant with you to take him for your servant forever? Will you play with him as with a bird, or will you put him on a leash for your girls? Will traders bargain over him? Will they divide him up among the merchants? Can you fill his skin with harpoons, or his head with fishing spears? Lay your hands on him, remember the battle, you will not do it again. Behold, the hope of a man is false, he is laid low even at the sight of him. No one is so fierce that he dares to stir him up. Who then is he who can stand before him? Who has first given to me, that I should repay him? Whoever is under the whole heaven is mine. I will not keep silence concerning his limbs, or his mighty strength, or his godly frame. Who can strip off his outer garment? Who would come near him with a bridle? Who can open the doors of his face? Around his teeth is terror. His back is made of rows of shields, shut up closely as with a seal. One is so near to another that no air can come between them. They are joined one to another. They clasp each other and cannot be separated. His sneezings flash forth light, and his eyes are like the eyelids of the dawn. Out of his mouth go flaming torches, sparks of fire leap forth. Out of his nostrils come forth smoke, as from a boiling pot and burning rushes. His breath kindles coals. And a flame comes forth from his mouth, and his neck abides strength, and terror dances before him. The folds of his flesh stick together, firmly cast on him, and immovable. His heart is hard as a stone, hard as the lower millstone. When he raises himself up, the mighty are afraid. At the crashing they are beside themselves. Though the sword reaches him, it does not avail, nor the spear, nor the dart, or the javelin. He counts iron as straw, and bronze as rotten wood. The arrow cannot make him flee, for him sling stones are turned to stubble. Clubs are counted as stubble. He laughs at the rattle of javelins. His underparts are like sharp potsherds. He spreads himself like a threshing sledge on the mire. He makes the deep boil like a pot. He makes the sea like a pot of ointment. Behind him he leaves a shining wake. One would think the deep to be white-haired. On earth there is not his like, a creature without fear. He sees everything that is high. He is king over all the sons of pride. So tell me, no javelin, no spear can tame him, no sword. He has shields over his back. His underbelly is closely guarded with armour. He breathes fire, smoke out of his nostrils and his mouth. To me, if what we are beginning to understand around the world, we're seeing evidence and depictions that dinosaurs did live with man up to our recent past, never mind our distant past, then we clearly have within the Bible a description of what we would call, or anybody would say, yep, they both sound like dinosaurs, large terrible lizards, or described as dragons before that word in the middle of the 19th century came about. It seems to me that we do have evidence, and in the Bible, of dinosaurs living alongside man.